What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Breakdown Sportscast. I am your good friend and host, Corey Willis. I hope everyone is doing well on a Monday. Hope you guys had a great Father's Day weekend. Got a chance to, hang out with the fathers out there, and just, enjoy that time with your family. Family is very important. So it's nothing like spending that time with the people that you love. So hope everyone had a great weekend overall. As always, we appreciate you guys listening in on the show. You know where to find us. We're on many different streaming platforms out there, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Amazon Audible, iHeartRadio, and many other streaming platforms out there. So we very much appreciate you guys listening in on the show. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the show. It lets us know what we're doing, of course, and how we can improve the show for the future for you guys. So we very much appreciate you guys' support with the show. As always, you know who I'm with. I'm with my good friend and co-host. He is Chris Bolton. What's going on, Chris?
What's going on, Corey? How we feeling?
Oh, man, feeling good, of course. It's a new week, a dawn of new things going on in the off season of college football, but never felt better.
Yeah, it was a good week. We got some news to hit on, and it's a good fight week too. If anybody is into boxing, that boy Tank Davis, boy, he is a different beast. If you don't watch boxing but you're interested, hey, Tank is one of the ones you got to tune in to see. I don't know if you caught the fight, Corey.
Hey, I caught the left hook from Tank.
You caught the left hook too?
Yeah. Woo. Because it caught me by surprise. Well, maybe not me, but it definitely did.
I know who it did catch by surprise.
Martin by surprise. I'll tell you that.
Frank even told you. I ain't see that coming.
Oh my gosh, that was that was some mishap by Martin, by setting themselves against the ropes like that.
Yeah, man, it was
he was asking for it.
That pressure, man. Tank, he hits you and he catches you with those body shots. He slows you down. It's really like watching the Animal Planet, like National Geographic. The dude just stalks his prey the whole fight, and then as fast as you can blink your eyes, it's over.
It's over. Just like that.
That's Tank, man. That's Tank. So I had a great weekend watching the fight, enjoyed myself, and now I'm ready to talk some college football.
Yeah, it was a great fight, of course. So yeah, I'm just like you as well, partner. I'm ready to talk college football, and I think I saw we're less than 100 days away.
Man.
So we getting close to it
so far.
Yeah, I know, right? So yeah, we're getting
there.
We're almost there.
Time will trickle once the video game comes out. We've highlighted on our show how much we're looking forward to the new college football game. Time will move a little faster then, but we have that to occupy our time.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree with you. So yeah, man. Yeah, it was a great weekend overall. Great fights, and yeah, definitely here to catch it up with you. I know it's been a couple weeks, folks, since we had our last show. Not too much has been going on, of course, since we last talked. But we did think it was best to kind of follow up on some things that are going on, since we're edging nearing to media days and things like that, and fall camp and everything and stuff. So before you know it, you blink and we're already here. So we're heading that way. But yeah. Overall, it's been a good week so far. So yeah. One of the topics that we did want to kind of start off with Chris actually sent by a tweet from Ross Dellinger a couple of days ago mentioning the ESPN schedule for ABC games on the first week of the college football season. I appreciate you doing that, Chris, and I appreciate Ross Dellinger for his work as well.
Ross. Yeah,
he does really good reporting. So yeah, we definitely saw the schedule. The first week schedule is a lot of games, of course, but just on that August 31st, which is a Saturday, we do have, I think, at least three ABC games and one Sunday game also on ABC. So, which game do you want to start off with first, Chris, that we can kind of, talk about?
You know what? I said we just go in chronological order.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Because I think the first one, is an interesting game. I think more so for the guys in Clemson, South Carolina. They have to take on Georgia in Atlanta in pretty much Bulldog territory.
Right.
It's an 11 a.m. kickoff game on ABC. So yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be looking at this game more so to see how Clemson responds after having that lukewarm of a season last year. How does a Cade Klubnik excel from having that first year starting, being QB1 to coming into this year into his own. Like, how does he respond? Is he up for this challenge? Because he's taking on a really good Georgia football team that I think they have everything in front of them in terms of them being a part of the playoffs this coming season. So, what are your thoughts, Chris, on that?
That's a very interesting matchup. We have two the higher profile coaches facing off in this one. Kirby Smart, what he brings to the table, national championship winning coach, just as much as Dabo Swinney. What he's done with Clemson. So it'll be interesting. These gentlemen have two different approaches to the transfer portal as well. Georgia will take in transfers. Clemson, is a very culture specific program with how Dabo is running things there, and so I'm sure a lot of Clemson fans are eager to see how they stand against a Georgia and what this team can possibly be, with it being reliant on solely getting guys out of high school and getting them to Clemson as soon as possible and developing them. That's a way you don't see that happens, that takes place too much in today's college football with the transfer portal and NIL and everything. So this is a coach truly doing things his way. So we're going to find out very early on how Clemson stacks up against one of the best programs in college football the last decade with Georgia.
Yeah, no, you're right, partner. It's it's definitely not going to be easy. I mean, no one in this day and age of college football would tell you, winning football games are easy. But when you look at the way Clemson is going about getting players now, it's not, the tried and true era of, the transfer portal and, using NIL to, get all of this great talent now. It now means that a lot of these guys are just coming out fresh, of course, for the first time from high school now. So and they have to be coached up from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, all I want to know is Dabo about that life. That's all I want. Because look, I don't think Kirby Smart in Georgia that they're like playing nice now. Like, you know,
No.
Nick Saban's gone. You ain't gonna worry about Nick Saban anymore.
What? Kirby playing nice. This is the same man that gave one of his players his blessing to move forward with the lawsuit. That man don't know nothing about playing nice. Kirby is here to win.
Well, you are correct on that one, sir. Like he is all in on winning. It doesn't matter if I have to ruin another team's life by getting what he wants. This man is willing to do whatever he needs to do to be on top of the college football landscape.
He is a fan's coach. Hey, Kirby stand on business. Hey, wasn't that Drewski skit?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm standing on business.
On business, he is.
But you know, in his own right, Dabo is too. He's standing on business, and this being the way he recruits and how he runs a program. So, in the same respect, we two men that stand on business. They about to lock heads that Saturday.
Hey, by the end of it, we're gonna see the right hand on standing on business and the wrong hand on standing on business. Well, which one you prefer, Chris? The Dabo way or the smart way?
The Kirby way. Hey, look, if I was coaching, I would move more like Kirby. But look, hey, we gonna find out.
Look,
that's why they play the game.
That's why they play the game.
So that's gonna be an interesting Saturday. Like you said, though, I mean, Clemson they bring in high level players. They're bringing in 5-star guys, but they also it takes some time.
It does
for some of these guys to really maybe have that impact, you know, and. Some of these other schools like a Georgia will bring in your 5-star, and you know that's already had a couple years of grooming, and now you know they're doing it on the big stage for you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it'll be an interesting game.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready to see, you know, how Clemson responds after not having the season that they wanted last year. Like I said, is Cade Klubnik ready for this moment? Can he really rally the troops, of course, and really take this thing to new heights for Clemson? It's definitely
I mean, he's someone that is a tank at running back. How can he put the team, on his back, to an extent in this ball game? Because I feel like, just thinking about it scheme-wise, he's going to play a big part in trying to keep Carson Beck and that Georgia offense off the field.
Right.
We know how he can run the offense, so I think Dabo would love for this to be a ugly win. If I'm being honest with you, I don't see a world where Clemson blows Georgia out, but I can see if they do win, I think it'll be a ugly kind of victory where you just grind it out.
Yeah, I can see that as well. Just because I will be fair to Clemson, of course. Georgia last year, was toying around with with a lot of opponents. I'll say, they were messing around with the fate of taking that mid-season loss. Of course, that people also dreamt about during the season, but they never really got to that point up until the SEC championship game against Bama. So one of those things where it was like, it was just a little kerfuffle last season. We got everything ironed out for this season. We're all ready to go to actually get back to the national championship. Is it that Georgia we're going to see, or
Right.
are we going to see more of what we saw last year from them, where they're just kind of like kind of toying around with their opponents, not really knocking them out from the first quarter all the way to the fourth quarter. So it's going to be interesting.
Yep. Yes, indeed. And so that's I'm looking forward to that game. I'll be tuned in, and we're getting the season started with a banger. I feel like that's a matchup. A lot of times that could very well be the night game, but that's the noon Eastern, 11 o'clock Central.
Yeah,
kickoff.
Yeah, that's what makes me excited about watching this game, just because like it's 11 a.m. kickoff. Like I'm all for it. Let's go. Let's get this season, kicked off the right way.
Yeah, and to keep things going, Corey, we turn it up another notch, literally at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central, because that game will be the University of Miami playing at the Swamp at the peak hours of the Florida summer against the University of Florida in what will be the hottest game of the weekend. And I guarantee we will see at least 7 players that will need medical attention for cramps. I don't care how in shape them boys are; they will not be ready for this game.
It's unfortunate. It's not funny, but hey, it's the way it goes out there in the Florida sun right now. Hey, you can attest to that right now.
Oh yes, I can. I can attest all too well to it. That Florida sun ain't no joke, and the way the swamp is built. Oh man, that it's gonna feel like just a pressure cooker, a crock pot. That's how that feels gonna feel like, man. Them boys gonna be out there cooking. Oh my goodness, bro. It's gonna be terrible.
Oh man, they're gonna feel like they're in the air fryer,
man,
for like 3 to 4 hours.
They might have to stop. They might have to, think long and hard about really practicing outside. Get them bodies acclimated to that heat. I know everybody got that indoor facility. Might as well go ahead and get used to how it's gonna be on that outside in the outside, man. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad, Corey.
Oh my gosh. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a hot day, but you know what else is gonna be hot?
What's that?
Somebody's seat, because you got Miami, Mario Cristobal trying to get Miami right. I think they're giving them a little bit of time, but not too much time. We know how, the administration at Miami can get, Chris. So,
they've invested a lot into this season.
Exactly.
Miami has been extremely active in the transfer portal.
Right. Exactly. So you kind of know how it is, of course, just with Miami.
Right. And then on the other end, we got probably the coach with the hottest seat in college football.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I think this doesn't really bode well for Billy Napier if they lose this football game, Chris. I mean, this is a big game for Napier.
Huge game. Season defining game as the season opener. You don't hear that every day, but it really is a season defining game.
Yeah.
I don't think, and maybe Florida, we'll see how things play out. But I think if Billy Napier wants to be set up to get these people off his back this season, he needs to win this one.
He has to. This is a must-win first game for Florida. They can't afford to lollygag at all with this game, Chris. Like they have to come out.
I've looked at this schedule so many times, and it just doesn't fail to baffle me at how ridiculously difficult Florida's schedule is.
I know.
They play Miami, then turn around and play Sanford, then you welcome Texas A&M to town, which won't be easy. You go to Mississippi State. Say what you want about it being the first year for State, new head coach, etc. You're still going on the road at Mississippi State Cowbells, and Florida knows all too well about what can happen on the roads.
And State remembers
against Mississippi State.
And State remembers, honestly, it was different leadership, but they remember that they, losing to Florida, to a Dan Mullen coach Florida team, in Starkville. I don't think they want to do that again.
I don't think so either.
I think they want to make up for that.
And then the week after, they play UCF, who should be a very good team this year, and is an in-state opponent that's just been licking their chops, waiting to show that they run the state. Then you go to Tennessee at Rocky Top. The schedule's so hard. Florida got to play Kentucky for homecoming. Kentucky be solid. That's their homecoming game. That's how hard their schedule is. Kentucky ain't bad. Then they play Georgia, at Texas, home against LSU, home against Ole Miss, and at Florida State.
That's murderous row. I would not want this schedule.
You couldn't create a harder schedule on the video game. This is it.
I would want that schedule.
And this is your hot seat schedule. Man, Billy, ooh-wee.
You lose first game, Chris.
You could go 4-7. You lose the first game. You can win 4 games this year, and arguably, it ain't a bad. You didn't do a bad job.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's how hard the schedule is. I don't know. I don't know, Chris. Like, look, I'm sorry out there, Florida fans, if we're kind of being a little harsh right now on your Gators. We're just looking at it from the outside, looking in, from what we know going on this offseason, and just the basis off of last year. There were some good things, of course, with the team. It just wasn't. If you ask like a actual Florida fan, it just wasn't up to par what they wanted to be. Graham Mertz, he showed, flashes of him being a competitive quarterback, someone that could lead this team. But it's not like you have Ricky Pearsall there. He's not there on the team anymore.
Yeah,
and it just at the end of the day, you do have to find new people to come in to this program to really showcase what you can do. This isn't going to be an easy season for anybody in the SEC. You got Texas and OU here now, so you got to bring it. It's all hands on deck now, and
it is.
There's no excuses, of course, if you're Florida. So I'm definitely kind of reserved right now, and I know you are as well too, Chris, about what Florida can do this season.
Yeah, it's really for on a TBD basis. I will say this about week 1 though, with Miami, just as a little early preview that we're doing. This game will be, I think a lot closer than maybe what many people might expect. I think, for me personally, I think Miami can have a big year this year, but this might be in retrospect as the season continues for Miami. No matter what Florida's record might be, they might look back at this game for both teams, and this is going to be just an absolute battle. I think this could be a scrap to the very end. Just looking at the elements playing a factor, being at Florida, the desperation Florida will probably be playing with. I can see them really coming out and giving Miami everything they could ask for in this ball game.
I could definitely see that too. I could see this being a very competitive defensive game from top to bottom. I don't think there'll be much offense played into this game. I think kicking will be needed. You're going to need a really, reliable
Depth
kicker.
will be needed.
Yeah, just depth in general is going to be needed.
Depth will be needed. We're going to see how good your that the B squad is.
Yeah,
because it's going to, like we said, it's going to be hot, man. This is Florida at 3:30 in the afternoon. What? What?
Man, they better bring like all the water that they can bring, boy.
Oh my goodness. Man, it's gonna be tough. We're gonna learn about these teams. Whoever wins this game, we're gonna learn something about them.
Oh yeah,
we might learn something even if you lose in a close way. It could be that good of a game that you just have to put your helmet on and just come with it because it's gonna be tough.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a tough game, but I think that's what makes it even more exciting for me is seeing both of these two teams, somewhat rivals, duke it out.
Right.
For 4 quarters. So I'm ready. I'm ready. This is the middle ABC game of the of the afternoon. So I can't wait. But
same here.
But yeah. Anything else you want to mention about this game before we go on to the next one?
We can keep it pushing.
All right. So the final game, of course, on ABC is a 6:30 p.m. game on Saturday, August the 31st. It is Notre Dame going to College Station to take on the Texas A&M Aggies. So that's going to be another interesting game, of course. Between both of these teams. What do you think, Chris, about this whole game? Of course, what do you think? What do you think this game is going to entail?
It'll be interesting because so with A&M, they do have a new head coach, but this is an A&M guy. Coach Elko.
Yeah.
He's an A&M guy through and through. And I think he has the pieces in place to instantly walk in and be extremely successful. Like more successful than like what people are really anticipating. Like they have what it takes to be college football playoff successful in year one. Like they are a team to really consider being able to make the playoff if all things go right. That's not outside the realm of possibility for A&M ceiling this year. And then you look at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is set up to have success too. I mean, this is still a good team. Granted, they will have a new starting quarterback, but from what I've been reading and some of the reports I've seen, they say this is like the best the quarterback room has looked since Brady Quinn, and before then your Montanas and all that. Like the quarterback room is looking crazy. They saying out there in South Bend.
Hey, that's hey, that's a pretty big shoes to fill.
Right, right. But you know, if that's the case, if Notre Dame's offense can be even better this year in the passing game due to a talented young QB, stepping up and his talent, really shining through, Notre Dame is a team too that has the possibility of making the playoffs. So this will be an interesting one as well because there's a couple of unknowns in the sense of we don't know what we're getting from Notre Dame's quarterback, but we know they have the head coach that has set up a program to be successful. And then we also know that on the other end, A&M is a team that's been very talent rich with its roster, but they've been kind of missing the X's and O's and maybe the structure to get them over the hump and be consistent. And that's something that Elko kind of brings in the possibility in the perfect world is that structure for the program. We're going to get some answers. We're going to find some things out in this ball game. Just that's my kind of determining just my viewpoint on things.
No, you're absolutely spot on, Chris. Both of these teams, have kind of restructured, themselves. I think in a way to be a lot more competitive than they were last year. I noticed and totally forgot about Riley Leonard. They used to be at Duke. He's now with Notre Dame, and he actually is a very talented runner, of course, and he was a pretty adequate passer as well. Him being in that Notre Dame system, of course, I know that they can get more out of him to be a lot more talented through the air. We already, as I said, we already have seen what he can do on the ground in terms of getting those rushing yards. But I know this season they're really looking at wanting to get the most out of him throughout the air. So, and I know Notre Dame usually produces some really good wide receivers. So we'll definitely see what happens with Notre Dame this year. In terms of A&M, Mike Elko, his energy, somebody that coached Riley Leonard at Duke, definitely needed in that A&M program, of course. So I know if you told some A&M fans like, hey, we were supposed to get Mark Stoops and everything, we ended up settling for Mike Elko. Look, I don't look at that as a negative. I think he still has a lot of pieces, of course, to work with at A&M. Not everybody left, of course. So, it's, Moose Muhammad's still there. You have Marcel Reed. He's back at quarterback. So, we'll see what happens with Texas A&M. But
yeah, Cyrus Allen.
Yeah,
he's a talented kid. I mean, at wide receiver, like they got pieces now.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, they still have those pieces, offensively and defensively. Like people forget, last year, despite the struggles that A&M had, they still had a very good defense as well. So, and for Elko, I mean that's a strong suit for his squads. He really wants to prioritize and having a really good defense. So yeah, I think at this point now, if you're an Aggie fan, like you can't go nowhere but up at this point. You wanna really take the time to see this through with Elko and his squad and what he can do with a lot of these players, because the team that they have a very capable team of winning a lot of football games. So it's going to be an interesting game, I should say. So I can't wait to see what happens.
Same.
So yeah, man. Yeah. Anything else you want to add on this game before we move to the last ABC game?
No, sir.
All right. So yeah. So those are the Saturday slate games on ABC. But on Sunday, they'll cap off that first week with a 6:30 game. I say this is going to be a doozy of a football game, Chris. USC is going to play against LSU in Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. 6:30 p.m. kickoff. Like I mentioned. Yeah, like I can't wait for this game, of course. I want to see what Lincoln Riley and his squad does in this football game. I mean, this is going to be the first time that they're part of the Big Ten. I can't believe I'm saying that. But yeah,
I can't either.
I know. It's like, can you imagine Brian Kelly's gonna walk out there? He's like, "Yeah, we're taking on USC," and then he's gonna look and notice, like, "Man, y'all part of Big Ten. What is going on?"
He's gonna slip up and say something about them what they've been doing in Pac-12 at some point. I wouldn't blame him. It's muscle memory. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I know it's ridiculous, but
as soon as I got good with saying the Pac-12 instead of the Pac-10, now the Pac-12 ain't even a thing anymore.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, but yeah, yep, USC and LSU in Las Vegas. What do you think about this game, Chris? What are you looking for? What are some of the big storylines you're looking at?
I think this is an interesting matchup to see if just how established Lincoln Riley has a program at USC. When you're losing the number one pick in the NFL draft at quarterback from your club, it's going to be you're going to see it. You're going to notice a difference. But does he have this thing well oiled enough to where we maybe see the emergence of some other players from different position groups as USC gets things figured out in time at the quarterback position? But I'm curious to see also, with the LSU, there's a lot of LSU fans hyped up about Nuss, about their boy at quarterback. Mm-hmm. So we're going to find some things out about what LSU has going on and just how prolific their offense will be, because they feel like, you talk to some people in Baton Rouge, you might drop a beat, but like they think they're going to be putting up numbers this year. The things, it'd be business as usual on offense.
That's what I've heard. They're looking at Garrett Nussmeier as being, I guess that that next or that second coming of of Jaden Daniels,
right?
So hey, I'm all for it.
We'll see. I mean, we know LSU it has the athletes. Athletes will not be a problem. Mm-hmm. So if Nussmeier is that man, somebody will emerge as an elite, wide receiver face for LSU fans, and they got plenty of guys that can grow into that role. They have some playmakers out there,
right? So yeah, I'm ready to see what that looks like. Of course, what does this offense look like now that Jaden Daniels isn't out there? I mean, they still have some pretty good players on both ends of the football. John Emery, former 5-star running back, he's still on the team, of course. Just so many people. Of course, I can go up and down this roster that can actually help them continue on and build through what they did last season. Very excited to see what LSU does, but I'm equally as excited to see what USC does. Now that Caleb Williams isn't there, and some of their other guys aren't there as well. So, so yeah, it's, I can't tell you who I have in this game. Usually those first game, those first games from LSU are kind of like a flip of a coin toss. You never know what you're gonna get. So I think I will reserve judgment. I will sit back and relax and grab a sweet tea and just sit back and just watch the madness as it's gonna be displayed on my television screen. So I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait either.
So yeah, man. Yeah, but anything else about any of these games before we kind of finish up on the rest of our topics? I know we've kind of went on close to an hour about some
I'm
of these
good.
games. So yeah, but can't wait. Once we get closer to the season, we'll definitely break them down some more. We'll get a little more answers, of course, as to who's going to be starting, what the depth charts are going to be like for all of these games. So yeah, just make sure to keep it locked here on the podcast as we move along. So yeah, well, Chris, the couple of the other topics that I did want to kind of go over before we part today. So I did notice that Charlie Baker, which is the NCAA president, talked about the whole antitrust case settlement that just was made a couple weeks ago. And he pretty much talked about how it would, what he says, and he quotes, will put financial pressure on everyone in the college sports industry. And he said he also believes it will create some more certainty for schools in terms of how they would use NIL to help out with a lot of athletes at these colleges. Of course, this was a article that was written by Dan Murphy of ESPN. So appreciate him of all his work. And yeah, it just kind of goes on the settlement and everything. But what do you think, Chris? What do you think about these NCAA leaders? Of course, these guys that hey, we care about the student athlete.
I bet you sure do. You care about keeping a job.
Exactly. Only to come out to say this, of course. What do you think?
It's long overdue, but it's quite fitting that it's happening right now as the money this sport continues to generate and some of the muscle these conferences continue to flex. It's quite funny, but it's definitely well deserved for the players to be able to get this settlement money. But it's definitely long overdue that something like this takes place. And it really could have been worse because this was the settlement.
Yeah.
It could have went to trial. And the numbers could have really got ugly.
Poof goes the NCAA.
But yeah, the NCAA, they're trying to continue to keep some sort of grip or just stronghold in what's going on with college athletics and And so now, this settlement is should have been happened, but hey, it's happened. Now we can, move forward, and I'm sure the NCAA will be trying to stick around, in the meantime. Maybe they won't be gone as quickly as they could have been with how things were looking for a minute, between the conferences.
Oh yeah, it was looking like it was looking pretty grim, of course, and a lot of these answers are still not really met yet, but this was the first thing I'd say to kind of help alleviate some of all of this movement and stuff that's been going around. Just because we've seen it, of course, it brought a lot of uncertainty. It brought a lot of uncertainty to the NCAA. Something needs to be done. So now we finally got some answers kind of met with all of this. It just turned out it had to go through the court.
Right.
Had to go through the legal system to get there. But hey, look, sometimes it gotta be that way.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does. So hey, they got business handled, and I feel like people at the NCAA probably are sleeping a little better, and some of even maybe some of the people at the universities as well, with this money being able to be disseminated to them.
Yeah,
what it could be used for.
Agreed. So yeah, we'll definitely see what happens over time, and yeah, I'm happy that the well, I'm happy, but I'm still kind of like disappointed that the NCAA took this long, but also I'm not surprised just because the dragging of the feet needed to be. They needed to stop at some point. Like either move out the way, allow this to happen, or just get cooked. So they had no other choice through this whole process. College sports has changed now, and the NCAA has to abide to it and have to understand it, and allow the schools to take that control, of course, and give the student athletes that sense of control as well. So I'm happy that we're starting to kind of see that come into fruition going forward. So, but yeah, anything else about this, Chris, before we talk about the last topic?
No, sir.
All right. Hey,
the few words I can use to describe the NCAA, the better.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I definitely agree. The few, the better when it comes to the NCAA, as always. But yeah, Chris. So, final topic that we'll talk about, and then we'll do intros and head up out of here, of course. So, the Big 12, and this is coming from Pete Thamel from ESPN. Shout out to Pete. He does amazing work covering college football and just college athletics in general. But the Big 12 is reportedly exploring their naming rights to title a big sponsor.
Oh boy.
And I definitely when this whole story had came out, Chris, I started seeing the All-State Big 12 conference. I like
the All-State 12.
Yeah.
Man,
I started seeing that, of course.
Because they're talking about removing the big out of the name.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about.
So we're just gonna call it insert sponsor 12, the All-State 12. Man, this does not need to happen. We do not need the conferences with sponsorships.
Yeah.
Oh, what's happened to my college football?
Oh man, even I was listening on the radio one day, and even Ryan McGee that also works at ESPN. He was talking about, hey, won't you just name it after Bojangles, the Big 12 Bojangles conference? You know, you can name it anything, Chris.
If you don't have a sponsorship or something, hey, might as well go with Bojangles. We don't run that Bo-Berry biscuit. Come on now. We're gonna do it the right way.
And look, hey, you got to do it the right
12.
way. the Bojangles 12-piece conference.
12-piece conference. Oh man.
How about that one? That would really get people going. Like, man,
oh boy,
you probably start. Bojangles would probably go up in sales with the chicken.
They would have no choice. Come get get your 12-piece conference for $12.99.
Can you imagine? Oh my goodness! Oh man, they wouldn't let go of that sponsorship at that point.
But yeah, it's crazy though, Corey, that we're looking at sponsorships for the conferences.
We here now.
It's insane. It's the last thing that is. Well, it ain't the last thing, but it should not be happening. We do not need this happening. Like, just keep the conference names. The conference names. Just keep the main thing. The main thing.
Just keep.
We don't need the sponsorships.
Yeah,
for everything.
Not for everything. I think about you since this happened, Chris, where we went from having Jefferson Pilot, advertise the SEC games, to having all state of Bojangles, sponsoring a whole damn conference. I don't know what we got.
The whole conference, man. Oh my goodness! One thing when you sponsoring the bowl game or just the broadcast, but shoot, we sponsored the conference now. We just sold ourselves for they'll sell anything for $1. Like, you can't even own the conference no more. You got to get the conference sponsored.
I know it's hilarious, but hey, that's where we at now.
That's where we at. But a line needs to be drawn. This does not need to happen. Because before you know it, it's going to be the ceasefire SEC. It's something. Something's going to be done. The SEC is going to have to get in on the money too. Somebody will surely grab the rights to sponsor the SEC.
Oh yeah, look, hey, Dr. Pepper's already lined up. Chick-fil-A,
all them, yeah.
It's like, I'm ready when you are.
There ain't no problem. That can happen yesterday. So,
Commissioner Sankey,
y'all just opening Pandora's box by playing around, getting these conferences sponsored.
I know, Commissioner Sankey. Let's talk. Come on, we got a great brand. Let's do this. Hey, oh my God!
Somebody's gonna do it, man. Somebody will do it in a heartbeat. So, yeah. We don't need to let this happen. But these conferences, I think, too, are trying to, I guess, stay alive. So
sure seems that way at this point now.
So, you tend to make decisions that that don't look good for the betterment of the game, but they keep you alive. People tend to make, if they keep you around and keep things going, that tends to be the decision that'll be made, even though it might not be for the betterment of the sport.
Yeah, it's the like lately in the video gaming community, people have talked about gaming companies kicking the can down the street. Of course, you can say the same thing for this, Chris. It's like kicking the can down the street, only to meet up to it later on and have to figure out something else to keep everything afloat.
Keeping it afloat. So hey, yeah, this is where we are now for the Big 12. So I'm curious to see how this plays out, but I don't want to see. I'm not trying to remember the sponsorship for the conference. It's like y'all gonna be the Big 12, whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna still call you the Big 12.
Me too.
You all say 12 all you want.
Exactly. If it got 12 on it, you still being called Big 12 to me.
Your mama named them Big 12, so I'm gonna call them Big 12.
There you go. That's because that's the way I see it, all right? You know? Forget about what everybody else sees you.
Right.
You know, I see you for what you really are. Oh man, but yeah, I thought that was funny, and you know, right now they're looking to explore it. It's nothing in stone yet, but we will definitely follow it, folks. For anybody that's kind of looking into this whole scenario of what's going to happen to the Big 12 going forward. So I thought it was something to kind of end off on a I can't say a high note, but maybe like a hilarious note for the show today. So we'll see what happens.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But yeah, that's all the topics that I have for today's show, Chris. Of course, appreciate you, brother. Always being
yes,
here.
Sir. Always.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you as well.
Exactly. We can always kind of break down what's going on. In season, off season is always fun, of course, and it's always fun, being here, providing a great show for our fans here. So yeah, absolutely. But yeah, partner. Before we head out, outros. Let the good folks know where they can find you on social media.
You can get at me on X at Chris_Bolton_12. And you can get at me on Instagram at Chris.Bolton_.
Awesome. Yeah, and you can find me on X at Listen to KSW, all one handle. On there, talking college football, of course. We're inching closer. I think we're pretty much at the end now for the NBA Finals, Chris. Baseball is going on, college and pro. So yeah, I'm definitely on there. So definitely give me a follow, holler at me on there. But yeah, we appreciate y'all's support for the show as always, and yeah, we'll definitely be back soon with another episode. Of course, we'll see how different news topics kind of fare throughout the weeks ahead, of course. But we'll definitely let y'all know when we'll be back for another episode. But we very much appreciate you guys listening in on today's show. So until next time, we will see y'all later.
Peace.